Hello, welcome to my review of Rocketman, which was directed by David Fletcher, I believe his name was, and was actually produced by Elton John himself, which was a surprise. I did not know. I mean, I had hoped, but I didn't know for sure, but that was a great surprise. It's just my first thoughts on the movie. I just saw it a few hours ago with my friend Tyler, who I also saw Endgame with, and Solo, and Black Panther, and another movie I am not remembering, Bohemian Rhapsody, so that's a good one. And so I'm just going to jump into it. The movie opens up I did not expect it to open in that way, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's, spoilers, by the way. I don't want to do a non-spoiler and then a spoiler. I'm just going to do spoilers for now. So, spoiler alert, you were warned. So anyways, the movie opens up with Elton John in what looks like an Alcoholic Anonymous, a Sex Anonymous, Drug Anonymous, basically an anonymous for every type of anonymous you can anonymously find. And I thought it was really clever the way they start back as he's describing what led him up to these moments of him trying to find help, because that's what he believes in, obviously, I hope. And so you see him as a kid, and you just the movie immediately establishes that he is great with the piano. And I thought that was, I'm sorry, there's something stuck in my eye. I thought that was a great way to establish Elton's character, learn like what made him want to get into this, and you learn that his family life kind of sucks. His mom is not really present in the way of a mom should be. His dad's just completely not present, doesn't want to give his son a hug, and because apparently giving your son a hug is soft. And I could kind of feel for Elton, and I understood where his emotions were coming from, and just seeing that way he was raised, I had no idea he was raised that way. It's almost heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking, because I mean, if I had never received positive attention from my parents, it would have broken me, and it's horrible to see someone go through that. But yeah, moving on. The slowly progresses with him becoming older and becoming a teen year. And I would like to pause now. This is the part of the movie that really took me out of the movie. I did not expect it to be a musical, and that may sound really dumb considering it's a movie about a pop star. But when I look at a movie like Bohemian Rhapsody, it was not a musical. It was a movie about music, and you see how these people came together, how these people created these songs, and I wanted to see more of that, not him and a whole bunch of people breaking out into song and dance on the street. That was just really weird to me. I couldn't tell whether it was just what he imagined in his head, or whether they were just doing it just to do it. So it didn't really establish that well to me. So that kind of like took me out a little bit. But anyways, it does that several times, but I'll talk about that when we get there. There's one particular scene that really took me out of it. I was like, it's more cringy than it is symbolic. But the movie did have a lot of symbolism in it. So you see him through his teen years, and not really much happened other than he goes into a circus that's in his backyard area. I don't know. It was weird. But once again, they rig out the song and dance, and then you see him become older into his adult life. In that, he meets his best friend, or his brother, who he loves, but he doesn't love him in that way. And that was a really interesting story arc for the two, which was very shoved under the rug real quick, but maybe that's how it happened in real life. They just said, alright, yeah, I love you, man, but not in that way. And said and done. But and I apologize for the fan on my computer. I don't know how to get it to shut up. And I hope the camera quality is a little bit better with lighting and whatnot, but I'm really trying to get there. Anyways, moving on. So you see him in his adult life. His brother, I can't remember his name, gives him his one of the scripts, or not scripts, but words, lyrics to this song. And of course, it's one of his most popular song, Your Song, which I love. And that was a great way to see how he's shaving upstairs, and he slowly comes down like, man, this guy's really good. And that was a really, really powerful scene. I really liked him playing on the piano. His whole family was like, oh, Elton, you're not a complete waste of space. That was a great character development for the family. Except for the grandma. The grandma was pretty cool. Not the mom and the dad. At all. And they didn't age, also, something that really took me, I'm like, the mom only aged at the very end, and it was just super weird. But she didn't age at all in the movie except for the very end. Same with the grandmother. She just didn't age. Elton did. Started losing his hair towards the end. But anyways, this next thing that sticks out to me was you see him meet John Reed, which is played by, I forgot his name, but he plays Robb Stark in Game of Thrones, which is awesome to see. I love that actor. But my friend Tyler pointed out that John Reed is the same John Reed in Bohemian Rhapsody, who the actor who played Littlefinger played. So, coincidence? I think not. Because that's 2 Game of Thrones actors playing the same exact person in 2 different movies. Which was really cool to see, but I didn't even notice that until he pointed it out. I just saw some random guy, I didn't even catch his name, but that was really interesting to see, and it's really hard to like Robb Stark after seeing the way he treated Elton, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. But they fall in love, they have sex, oh god, am my video gonna get banned for saying that word? Well, we'll see. So they have sex, and they have a really close relationship with one another. They start developing that relationship, and then he kind of acts like a complete douche to Elton shortly after, because he just is in it for the money, which is really weird because the John Reed in Bohemian Rhapsody didn't seem like that. So is that just he had 2 different personalities, or is that just not conveyed in one movie and the other? Or, I don't know. After he left Freddie, did he just go to Elton? So that's really interesting to find out. But I would love to give me a movie on this freaking John Reed dude. He has his own spin-off series of this musical cinematic universe. But so you see Elton slowly learning his songs, and that's another thing that kind of disappointed me is I didn't see, like, he just randomly would like stare at someone and just start singing, you know, Rocketman in the concert. I mean, yeah, he's in a concert singing Rocketman, but it just came out of nowhere. And why is my phone going? But it just came out of nowhere. And it didn't. I liked when in Bohemian Rhapsody when they start singing these songs. Like, all right, yeah, they're in concert, they're going on the road. You kind of like see. Obviously, they're not going to show him making every song, but it's nice to see 1 or 2. And yeah, you only really see that in the very beginning when he sings your song. And I wanted to see more of that. That was really intriguing to me. And later on in the movie, he starts getting into drugs and alcohol, and he gets really depressed, and I could totally understand where he's coming from. That was a great job on the actor and the writer's part. You could kind of feel his dad didn't want anything to do with him, and even when his dad got the second chance, when Elton went to go visit him and tell him he was homosexual, that way he could control the media, knowing this information, ruining his potential career, or actually just career in general. It was a big career at the time. That was a big sentence. You learn that the dad already has a second family, and totally disregards Elton. He's like, hey, can you sign my record for me? And I'm like, oh, that's cool of him. He's like, oh no, it's not for me, it's for my coworker. And Elton's just like, you know, on the verge of tears. He was crying, and it was a really heart-wrenching scene. And seeing it's like, not everyone gets a second chance, Dad, and just walks away, and that really hurt. And that's the last we see of his dad, I believe, till the end, which is another weird scene. But you slowly see him spiraling out of control, and he calls his mom and says, Mom, I'm a homosexual. And she goes, I know, and I don't care. Just, you chose this life of sadness and loneliness. I'm just like, ooh, really? That's how you're going to talk to your kid? I mean, I know it was the 80s or 90s, but, like, that's your own kid, and I don't understand how can someone, you know, I just don't understand that. If I went to my mom and said I was homosexual, and she'd be like, alright, cool, I guess, alright, well, good for you, but for her, I don't imagine my mom saying something like, you know, disowning me, or, you know, saying I chose this life of sadness and loneliness and solitary confinement, I can't English on video, but I can get A's on all my essays. Makes perfect sense. But, you know, that just really hurt. I think everyone deserves better than that. And you see him try and commit suicide. He takes these pills and he jumps in the pool, and this kind of took me out. He's drowning in the pool, and you see the little boy in a spacesuit underwater singing Rocketman, and he's in the water singing with the boy, and you see all these people jump in. You know, I thought they were all drowning at first. Like, they all decided to kill. He's like, oh, Elton's dead. Well, we might as well die too. It was just really weird the way they jumped in. It's like, it was a pool. a clear pool. You didn't need to go look underwater and open your eyes. Like, you could clearly tell where he was based on how big the pool was, or how small it was. So it was really weird. They just dive in. Why did everyone need to dive in? I mean, you only need 1 or 2 people. But they all dive in. He gets out and he gets rushed to a warehouse hospital thing. That was really weird. You see him taking off the mask and singing, and that was another weird scene. I wanted to see a dramatic scene, like, you know, Elton just almost killed himself, and he's breaking out into song and dance. It really, you know, took me out of that, and out of that emotion. I'm just like, was that really, I mean, there are times where you break. I get the message of Rocketman. Rocketman takes on a whole completely different symbolic meaning now that I've seen the movie versus just listening to the song. But even then, Elton didn't write that song. His brother did. As far as the movie really didn't make clear who wrote that song. So even then, that doesn't make sense because he didn't even write the song. So it didn't even have that big of a symbolic meaning. But I don't even think he was singing Rocketman in the car, and the paramedic going to the warehouse. I don't know. It was really weird. Like, I can't even describe it. It was just a really funky scene. And I just, even thinking about it, I'm confused. But anyways, moving on. So he gets rushed in the warehouse in like 5 seconds, and he's going back to concert because John Reed said, "Oh, he'll be there because I want my money." And douchebag. But that didn't make that clear too. But this was that scene that really, I was like, what? So he's singing. He got mad at his brother or his best friend Ryder, and he yells at him, and he's on stage singing Benny and the Jets, which was a great scene. And I did love the fact that he's all depressed, you know, he's angry and just got done yelling and saying, "Screw you, don't tell me how to live my life, and you write the songs, I'll do the rest." And, you know, he's angry and just like, snap of a finger, he's like, "Okay, I'm ready to do this show." And you see that scene where he's smiling in the mirror and sad, he's really sad, but he has to put on that show, and that was a great way to show, you know, just because you have money and fame doesn't make you happy. And that's a big theme in the movie. And overcoming obstacles, obviously, but I think that was one of the bigger ones. And so he's singing Benny and the Jets, and he flies to space. It wasn't even Rocketman he was singing. Was he singing Rocketman? I don't even remember. It was so, like, what? Like, he just flies to space. Okay. Just because the song's called Rocketman doesn't... okay. Alright. Moving. Alright, so that was a really cringy scene. I mean, like, okay, the CGI. Okay, alright. Towards the end of the movie, I know I'm skipping over a lot of stuff. I'm just getting the main things out there. But towards the end of the movie, he's sitting in the AA room, or what, everything AA room, and he slowly takes off his devil costume or outfit that was a great symbol I saw of. He walks in as Elton John, and he's super confident and like, "I'm Elton John, I want help, but I'm still Elton John, I'm ready to accept this help." But throughout the movie, he slowly takes off his horns, and he takes off his mask, or I mean his headdress thing, and then he starts taking off his costume. By the end of the movie, he's just normal Elton John. And this little boy asks him, "Well, what happened to," I forgot his original name, but he wants to be called Elton John, so who cares about his original name? But and he's like, "Oh, he's been gone for years. I haven't been him in years." And I thought it was a great way of taking off that persona and moving on and be Elton John. So, and then at the end of the movie, he's recovering, and he uses the piano, and he starts singing Yellow Brick Road, and that was a great song choice for that particular scene. But again, he didn't write that song, so it didn't fit there. I don't think. Symbolically, it didn't. Which is fine. It's still a good song. I'm not going to complain. Elton John songs are amazing. But overall, that's my major thoughts on Rocketman. I love the music choice. I love that the narrative was really choppy for me because of those random scenes that just took me out of there, and that ruined the dramatic moments for me. But overall, I'd give this movie a 7.2568 out of 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyways, thanks for watching my review, my spoiler review of Rocketman. I know I skipped over a lot, and I know there's a lot of background noise, and I'm really working on fixing that. But my computer's just making a really loud, fan sound. But Hope you bear with me. I'm looking on getting a green screen, getting Elgato for streaming when I get Kingdom Come. Stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.